what I'm
It's been
referring
many
to.
winters since my husband returned to the Allmaker. But my heart still aches from the loss.
Well, what have you got for sale?
I gathered some plants that are useful for making potions, but I have other goods as well.
Yeah, but you have very little gold. The smith was the only one around here who did, you know, trading in real valuables, and he's gone, so... Your son, anyway? Who is that?
His name is Nicholas. He's a good lad, strong and loyal. I only wish he wasn't so eager to leave the village. I've tried to tell him that the world beyond our lands is dangerous and cruel, but he won't listen.
Well... Snake is hesitating on this one. Maybe you should let him go.
Perhaps someday I will have to. But for now, I need Nicholas here. You see, his father, my husband, was recently lost to us.
Oh yeah.
Nicholas is
sadly.
all that I have left in this world. I know it is selfish of me to say so, but I cannot lose him. Not while I still grieve. Also, I know his heart. Nicholas is reckless and foolish, like most young men. He cannot understand what awaits him in the wide world.
Well, Snake is going to try and talk to him at least. He's not necessarily going to convince him right away, but he'll talk to him and see.
You would do that? I know he would listen to you. You've been out there in the wide world. Yes, perhaps you can convince him. I would be grateful if you would do this thing, outsider.
We'll see. Snickers will talk to him at least while he's here. Because he's in the village. Yeah, he should be in the village, so Nicholas.
The elders talk of great sins is much bigger than
Make sure that you save some wood from the pile.
What for?
One of our chairs is
None of
on
these
the
guys
way.
look like
I came
young
here to study
men.
the history
Way.
of Solstheim. This is skull.
What about you?
I welcome you,
Oh, that's
friend of the
actually...
skull.
Thank you! That was actually a girl. Not who Snake is after at all. Maybe they've got a house? To Nicholas and... Oh, Morwen, do you work the forge while the smith is away?
My mother was Skull, but she left the village and I was born in Skyrim.
Right, so why did your mother leave the village?
A trade ship from Skyrim struck ice off the coast near the village, and the Skull took in the surviving sailors. My mother fell in love with one of the sailors, my father, and eventually returned with him to Skyrim.
Did she ever return here?
Sadly, no. She died in Falkreath, where I was born.
Oh, how sad. What do you need?
I came across a few of my mother's old things not long ago. Among them was a necklace that my father gave to her when they were married. I believe she would want it placed upon her tombstone in Falkreath, as a symbol of her undying love and the great sacrifice she made for me. If you find yourself in Falkreath, please give this amulet to the priest Brunel and tell him that I sent you. He will understand. I don't have much to give in reward, but return to me when the task is done and I'll do what I can. Thank you, Skull friend.
Sure, if Snickers does go to Falkreath, he will do this thing. So have the dragons made life very difficult for the Skull?
Well, the dragons are a constant danger, but so far they have taken little interest in our village. But have they forced us to change the way we live our lives? No, not at all. They are but one more hardship, added to the many we already endure.
Right.
All right, then.
So... yeah. Obviously, journal entries could be a little bit more extensive.
I hope that Nicholas will hear your words. He no longer seems to hear mine.
Hi there, Nicholas.
I've seen outsiders in our village before, but none were like you.
Yeah, your mother tells Nicholas that you want to leave the village.
That's right. I want to go out into the world and earn great glory. I want to hunt the deadliest creatures and claim vast riches. I'm wary of living in this village. I want to do something with my life other than farm, fish, and hunt deer. I know it must be hard for an adventurer such as you to understand this, but we Skaal live very boring lives.
Well, right. The snake is... it kind of identifies with all the things that you want to do, but, would you abandon your mother when she needs you most? Grow up a year or two and then you can go. Why the rush? Everything's with her, you know, your father gone and the dragon's back in Mirak and everything. Don't you think you should hang around here a little bit longer before you go off somewhere? Leave your mother time to come to terms with.
Alright then.
Yeah, you said alright?
That's right. I'm wary of living in this village.
That's not good.
I know it must be hard for an adventurer such as you to understand this, but we Skaal live very boring lives.
But would you abandon your mother right now? Not the best time.
There is truth in your words. She has not been herself since my father's death. I can see that in my eagerness for adventure I have forgotten my duties as a son and as a Skaal. You have helped me to see wisdom, and I thank you for that, Skaal friend.
You can go off later, you know, adventuring. There's no very great rush.
Yeah, this is one of those times where, you know, I kind of need a bit more backstory for Sneakers than I really thought up. Because, I mean, Sneakers would probably react to this, you know, where's his mum and stuff. I think most likely she's dead. He's not that young. He is young, but not that young. She's probably gone. She named him after the... Also, she named him after the Nerevarine, the guy who... You know, she wanted him to go off adventuring and, you know, showing that Khajiit can be more in the wider world than just thieves or whatever bad reputation they have, I think. So I think... Yeah, I think he's actually... Yeah. He just might be a little bit... Not envious, but think that Nicholas maybe doesn't understand what he's got here, and that there's no rush. He can go off an adventure later on.
If Nicholas leaves, I fear he will never return.
Take it easy. Nicholas has agreed to stay, at least for a while.
May the Allmaker bless you with many sons and daughters outside.
Thank you. Thank
Once
you.
again, you have shown that you're a true friend of the Skaal. I wish that I could give you a reward that is equal to the joy in my heart, but I don't have much to offer one who has so much already. Perhaps these will prove useful to you. These herbs are unique to the island, and their light cannot be found elsewhere.
Right, you know what, Sneakers can't carry all this stuff. Maybe you can test some of it out though. There's some of this stuff that he hasn't tried before. Yeah, parasol moss. That's damage health. The other stuff he kind of knows.
Be always warm, Skaal friend. It brings me great comfort to know that Nicholas will stay. Mostly things from the village or the land around it. Have a look.
Yeah, because Nicholas can't even move with all this stuff. He's gonna need to try and lose something. Oh, you do buy all sorts of things, it's just... you don't have a lot of gold to buy it with. Alright, let's see. Do we have any heavy junk? Yeah, I think Sneakers wanted to keep this book because it's kind of connected with some of the story here in Solstheim.
love to sell you some dragon scales, but obviously you can't afford that. And you haven't got your smith who might be able to make something of it anyway. You know what I should do? I should order this by value instead, because I can only sell you cheap junk, right? It's going to be something that actually weighs something, or there's no point. Oh, we're actually carrying mead? Oh yeah, that's because of possible quests and stuff. Oh yeah, this dwarven oil. Well, Snickers knows that's actually good for a couple things though. Like Fortify Illusion and Restore Magic. If he joins these two up, he'll get a useful potion. Ethereum was. I think this too is. No, I don't really want to sell that, it's too quest relevant, even though it's not really something I need anymore. Right, this didn't really turn out to be... well, Snick still doesn't know that he might still need... He suspects now that disguising as a cultist isn't going to be very useful, but he doesn't know that, so he'll hang on to it for a bit longer. A fortified pickpocket potion. Right, well, that could prove useful still. Well, if you could afford these, but they don't weigh anything either. Yeah, I can't afford this stuff. These Snickers wants to look into to see what they're kind of good for. I think Snickers is going to simply have to sell back to you some of that stuff that you gave him. Sorry, but... Cause... Okay, it's actually... No, that's not going to give him any money at all. So he'd should rather sell some of the Dwarven Oil then. Which, you know, she'll at least pay some money for. Right, better. And then... maybe... what else? She might be able to buy some of this. Isn't there something that was... Oh yeah, I want to organize this on value. And then from cheapest like that, and there was something worth about 50, I think. What was that? Oh yeah, I'm not selling that, really. But all these great cell gems, I don't think I need all that. Oh, this is actually a very cheap scroll. I suppose it's marginally useful, but... yeah, it could be useful actually. there a potion we don't really need? Or like a gold ring or something, or I'm wasting ridiculous amounts of time on this, I know. Let's just sell one more of these. Oh, I still can't move. I'll need to sell something else. Alright, I'll sell 3 silver rings. That's more than I need, surely. Maybe now I can actually move.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Excellent. So yeah, I'm definitely ending the video here. It's been a bit of a long, silly ending to it. In the next video, we'll move on. Probably start looking for those. Yeah, probably trying to work on those stones. And or consult with that Telvanni wizard again. But until then, go in peace and
It's
live and
been
live.
many winters since my husband returned to the Allmaker, but my heart still aches from the loss.